All right, Clayton. After the show, it's the AfterB.O. Welcome to our YouTube web exclusive, the AfterB.O. So, Clayton, great episode. I mean, it was a grab
Mhm.
bag, and we grabbed and we bagged it. What an
Yep.
episode this was.
It's a great episode, yeah.
So, we talked about Marvel, we talked about Priscilla, we gave some great ideas for what the Priscilla movie should have been. Should have been 3 acts focusing each on a naked gun behind the scenes.
Mhm.
We talked about Wanna B.O., Adam from the Stacks and his Martin Scorsese slander, though we all agree Splattered would be a great film and would probably do pretty well because it's an IMAX.
And
So
any streamer, even if it isn't Peacock, should pony up for Splattered.
yes, yes. So if you haven't listened to the episode or watch on YouTube, go find the full episode for this weekend. But for the AfterBO, we wanted to just focus on one email that we got from another one of our favorite wannabe boys, Reed. So
Read.
I will read what Reed wrote right now. So in this email, his subject is the real victims of Freddy's success. As someone with kids who unfortunately still has to attend way too many Chuck E. Cheese birthday parties, there is a true Five Nights at Freddy's victim here. The poor boy, girl, person
Person.
who has put on the mouse suit to take pictures with the kids. From what went as an annoyance as kids would rather play games and take a picture with a person in a 30-year-old suit that probably smells like sweat and is damp with employee tears is now considered a possible threat. There's workers' comp cover being beaten in a mouse suit. Maybe that should be the next poll. Intern Christopher, love the show, Reed. Okay, so lots to unpack there. But basically, what Reed is proposing is in Five Nights at Freddy's, the animatronics at a Chuck E. Cheese like restaurant, they were the villains here. They were killers. They were
Mhm.
killers. And will the popularity of this movie make people frightened and wary of people who have to dress up in the Chuck E. Cheese mouse suit at Chuck E. Cheese? And I'll throw that out to just people in giant character suits in general. Does this change things? We live in New York. Does this change things for how people interact with the Times Square, off-brand Mickey Mouse and Spider-Man and those characters,
Well, I would say, and no offense to the Stacks Dwellers, the Earth Dogs, the
the
Plain
Plain
Billies,
Billies, yeah.
I do think there's a level of savvy with
Mhm.
city dwellers. I mean, it would
Mhm.
be tourists that would be assaulting
Yeah,
your Times Square Elmos. It wouldn't be
yeah,
the kid who's 5 years old and takes the bus to kindergarten,
right, right,
right? Or takes the subway to kindergarten.
right, right.
20 stops. I mean, these are savvy, streetwise kids. They're not going to, if anything, they'll create viral TikToks in which they are reenacting scenes from the movie on
Mhm.
unwilling victims.
Okay.
That's more than what I would say is like fear. But I think in the in the middle of the country, there definitely could be Chuck E. Cheese employees that are beaten out of fear.
Right. Now you famously had a costumed Chunky Cheese. Now, is that correct?
Mhm.
Am I remember that you went
Yeah,
to not a Chuck E. Cheese. It was a Pennsylvania chain called Chunky Cheese.
Chunky Cheese, yeah.
And famously, a Chunky Cheese costume character put their finger in your mouth, right?
Well, in the eye.
In the eye, a gloved finger in the eye. Now,
Yeah, yeah.
if that happened to you in a
Mhm.
post Five Nights at Freddy's world, where young
Yeah.
Clayton had watched Five Nights at Freddy's, had watched these costume characters murder, and then you go
Mhm.
to Chunky Cheese, and the
Mhm.
Chunky Cheese costume character put its finger in your eye, do you think you would react violently now having seen Five Nights at Freddy's?
Oh, yeah, because I would think that thumb ain't stop until it hits my brain.
Right, right, right.
At the time, it was an accident. I thought, "Oh, this he scratched my retina."
Right, right.
This I'm thinking, oh, so he's gouging my eyeball out.
Right, right,
And
right,
yeah, of course I'd probably bite the knee.
right, right. And I think that's the thing is now I think Reed might have nailed it in a post Freddy Five Nights at Freddy's world. There's no room for accidents. There's no room for mistakes at these Chuck E. Cheese's.
Mhm.
Where if a Chunky Cheese or a Chuck E. Cheese character accidentally bumps into a child, accidentally drops a child when they're taking a pic, everyone's reacting violently.
Mhm.
There's no margin for error. The kids, the parents, they're assuming the worst because they've seen Five Nights at Freddy's, and they're assuming that I mean, I guess could they be assuming that that's not even a human being inside of the character? They think that is an animatronic gone wrong, and they just
It
start attacking violently, thinking that there's no real person involved.
it's possible.
Yeah, yeah. So it does. It's a double-edged sword if you work in a costume at a Chuck E. Cheese type restaurant,
Mhm.
because I bet you the business is going to increase after this movie. More people will
Yes.
want to go to a Chunky Cheese, a Chuck E. Cheese, other rip-off type restaurants. So they'll get more customers, more tips, more photo ops. But those people very well may have a hair trigger and react violently to these costume characters. But they'll make
Yeah,
more
is
money.
there
So I don't know.
yeah, true. I mean, and it is like these workers will not be compensated for more kids and adults assaulting them.
No,
It's not like you
definitely
get
not.
a bonus for every time a adult tries to murder you because they think you're animatronic.
Right, right, right,
So, yeah, so it's a benefit to, you know, big animatronic pizza, but
right.
it's not a benefit for the worker at all. So,
No,
yeah, I do think it's another, it's another reason why you gotta think about the people that work at these places.
yeah,
You gotta think about them and maybe tip them, because the thing is, capitalism ain't changing,
no,
right? I mean, the company is not gonna take care of these costume people who are getting the shit beat out of them.
right,
What the best thing you can do is either after you beat them, or if you don't beat them and see them being beaten by someone else, give them 20% at least.
yes, yes,
You can't give them 10% after you've seen an ass whooping
right,
or you've whooped their ass.
right,
I mean, if you've
right.
whooped their ass, I'm gonna go out on the limb and say give them a 30% tip.
I mean, if you are a parent or a gang of parents who whoop the ass of someone in a Chunky Cheese costume
Yeah.
because you think they're animatronic and you think they're violent like Five Nights at
Mhm.
Freddy's, and you whoop their ass, and then the head of the costume comes off and you see that they're human, and you see that the inside of the costume is now filled with blood, you
Mhm.
gotta throw down 20 a piece, $20 a piece. Everyone
20
without
bucks.
hesitating, unroll a 20, throw it at the head, throw it at the head, $20 each.
Mhm.
And obviously if you're a bystander who sees that ass whooping, stay out of it. Stay
Oh
out of
yeah.
it because you'll be next. But then when
Mhm.
that angry mob of parents leaves, again, you just throw down a 20. Throw down a
I
20.
don't think if you're a witness, you have to throw down a 20.
10, you throw down a five spot
10,
maybe? Yeah.
5,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything, but there's the guilt of not doing anything. So I think 10. I think throw down a 10
Alright,
spot. If you're
well,
just a witness to a Chunky Cheese worker being beaten, throw down a 10
yeah.
spot. And I think let's end the AfterBO going back very quickly to the Times Square situation. If you are a tourist
Mhm.
in New York City and you see these Times Square Elmos, Times Square Mickey Mouse, Times Square Minnie Mouse, and you've just seen Five Nights at Freddy's, so you've got that fear in you
Yeah.
of, is this thing going to turn violent? Here's my advice. Yes, they will, but B, do not engage. Do
Yeah.
not, you could whoop the ass of someone in a chunky cheese costume in your local restaurant, because chances are that's a teenager or an old person
Mhm.
whose kids have abandoned them, someone who's not going to fight back in a real way. If you pick a fight with a Times Square Elmo
Yeah.
because you think it's an animatronic from Five Nights at Freddy's, that Times Square Elmo will F your shit up. And you know what? There's a web exclusive, they'll fuck your shit up.
Yeah, they'll
That
fuck your
Times
shit up.
Square Elmo is going to just be itching for that fight. If that
Well,
Times Square Elmo is itching in general, it's itchy and it's itching for a fight.
you have to think about all of the other Elmos
Yep.
that this Elmo defeated,
Yep.
brutalized,
Yes.
possibly killed in
Possibly.
order to
Well,
be the Times Square Elmo.
yep.
And there's different colors, so blue, red, green, whatever, right? I
Right.
mean,
But they've each defeated at least 5 to 10 other people who wanted that spot.
yes.
Yes.
So you have to remember that. I mean, this is an
Yep.
MMA situation here.
Yes.
It's not
Yes.
like you just traipse in an Elmo costume and be like, "Hey guys, I'm the new one.
Yeah.
There's enough for everyone." No,
Nope.
it's
Nope.
not how it works.
Yeah. So do not engage with these Times Square Elmos thinking that they're an animatronic gone wrong. Because even if they are, they're gonna mess you up.
Oh
They're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
mess you
yeah,
up.
yeah.
So that is for all the wanna-be-O boys, wanna-be-O girls, wanna-be-O people
People,
visiting New York, don't fight the Times Square Elmos thinking that they are animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's.
no.
Don't do it. Clayton, I think that's it for this episode of the AfterB.O. I think we've given them plenty of web exclusive content.
Oh, more than I don't want to say more than they deserve because they deserve the world, but
Right.
uh,
Enough.
enough.
All right. So on that note, thanks for watching the AfterB.O.